Thanks for tuning in to the first of our videos designed to help business people think about legal issues. I say think about issues because the lawyer's job, my job, is to worry about these issues for you. I'm Bill Capps and I serve as chairman of our law firm's corporate department. And for more than 30 years, I've helped businesses to achieve their goals and to solve their problems. And over the years, we have found it useful to talk about the 4 Ds: divorce, death, disagreement, and disability as a handy way of reminding business people about some of the most crucial issues they face in their relationships with other business people. So, I think you will find these concepts useful not only in agreements among shareholders and corporations, but also in operating agreements among members in limited liability companies, and in fact in other situations as well, such as employment or consulting agreements. So let me tell you a couple of true stories that illustrate the points. The names have been changed, of course. So how divorce can affect your business. Joe and Henry started business in the form of a limited liability company. They each own half of the business. They have a very complex operating agreement, fortunately drafted by one of my competitors. It has provisions for capital contributions, for making management decisions, and for transfer restrictions to keep the business out of the hands of strangers. The agreement even contains provisions which try to keep the business in the hands of Joe and Henry in the event of divorce from their spouses. The business isn't doing well, and additional money is needed to finance the losses. Meanwhile, Henry's wife commences divorce proceedings. When Henry and Joe try to obtain additional money to fund the business, Henry's wife, through her divorce lawyer, objects. Basically, the wife's divorce lawyer says in so many words, this is a bad investment and you can't use community property funds to save it. One thing the operating agreement forgot to do was to figure out how to keep a divorcing spouse from spoiling the business. Because Henry and Joe were friends, that operating agreement naturally requires unanimity for action, but it didn't show how to resolve a stalemate if 50% of the ownership wanted to borrow money, but the remaining 50% was not unanimous and couldn't act. I suspect there's another video to be made by us just on the family law issues involved in this case, especially when half of marriages end in divorce. Eventually, in order to get his spouse's consent to a further financing of the business, Henry had to capitulate on other family law issues in the divorce. Basically, the business was held hostage to resolution of the family law issues. The business was recently sold, and Henry and Joe took their losses. How death can affect your business. Another story helps illustrate the importance of addressing at the beginning of a business relationship the possible death of a business owner. So brothers Tom and Jerry own an engineering firm with their dad. Of course, everyone thinks dad will die first. Instead, Jerry dies first. Jerry's wife is unpopular with the family and is not a good business partner. The shareholders agreement allows Tom and Dad to buy out Jerry's wife. Jerry's wife, however, doesn't think the price is high enough. Fortunately, the court enforces the price agreed to in the shareholders agreement, and Tom and Dad go on to build a good business without having to deal with Jerry's widow. In this case, the shareholders agreement did exactly what it was supposed to do, namely protect the other shareholders and the business against a shareholder who was difficult to deal with. Please tune in to hear the second of our videos on disagreement and disability.
We hope you found this video informative. Please watch our other videos at Jeff or Mangels YouTube or jmbm.com.